Yes, so here am I again, the second video for today. I'm still adjusting the camera a bit. I've got nothing to stand on except this maybe. So now this is all the way out, okay. And this has to do. So this is my official English how I make my chapati video. And some ranting, of course. Yeah, so I tried this guitar video. I'm not very happy with it. I didn't like the sound, and I'm wondering if the upstairs guitar, maybe because of the split it has, I have the impression like it's doing something funny to the sound. So even if it's tuned, I used a digital guitar tuner on it. So Chapati. This is the normal Super U organic flour I get here, and I'm a little bit disappointed this time because the package is still the same than last time I bought it, but the flour that is in it is not the same. It's different. It's I feel it. It's different. It has a different taste, and the one they used before it was better. Yeah. So, but our Super U is really not worth the money to spend there, and I only shop there because it's the only reachable supermarket for me, like the closest by. So we use this, and yeah, in the meantime, while I'm doing this, so this, oh, I have to get this. This is just sesame, not grilled. I do it myself. So I put this in the steel pan. So I know some people, they swear on cast iron, and other people are mad enough to use like Teflon, but I think the best pans and cooking pots are just steel. So I'm gonna put what's going on? Oh, I put the sesame on the gas to grill it. Then I take, yeah, I know, I take about like half a packet. So it's a 1 kilo packet, so it's about 500 grams of flour, and this is the fine one. Yeah, it's the type 65. Then I use a tiny bit, as I explained already on a previous video. Oh no, this was in German. So I use like the chemical yeast. Yeah, so this is basically just bicarbonate, and really only I put a very tiny little bit of it, just to that it rises just very minimum. And there something happened here because I had to take away the onion back. It was hanging in front of the camera, and now it tries to escape. Then, so I use what is at hand. So I have brochette jaune, and I think today I use some Indian curry mix, which I get in the local how you call it, like it's a little Arab shop. They have the best spices, yeah, and it's cheaper than the spices they have in the poshy supermarket, and but the quality is much better in this little. It's called the Saveur du Sud, and is located in the 7 in Le Vigan in the south of France. So I was talking too much. I know how we do with the light, but today it's difficult with the light because there's wind and clouds going in front of the sun all the time outside, so it gets a bit difficult. So then I have this crusher, how you call it, I don't even know how you call it in English. €5 IKEA Toulouse. And yeah, so, and just one thing is that to crush it easier, much easier and quicker. So we got some more light here, maybe I can put on this. I think my flashlight just said goodbye. Anyway, since it's funny, since I decided, or well, decided, I don't know if decided is the right word, to move, things break. So my chainsaw has a problem, the battery of the mini computer thingy I have has a problem too. It's all happened within 2-3 days. Now here, the flashlight, I don't know if this is still, maybe I can repair it. So I first put some salt here, get it all nice and fine. Grinder, a grinder you call it. So grind the salt until it's really fine. Then comes my roasted sesame in the grinder. It's a little much, that doesn't matter. Yeah, and now I haven't been, since I haven't been shopping today because of the weather, so I looked up the weather forecast for tomorrow. It looks much better, and it starts already clearing up now with the wind. I haven't been shopping, and so for example, I like to use walnuts or peanuts or any kind of nuts, which I grind also and put within my chapati. And now I don't think you're gonna see much here. The light conditions are not very good, I think. There was a nail here. There's a nail here somewhere for the lamp. Or is this one? Yeah. So this is my sesame and some salt. I grind it. Takes a little time. So also I can't pause the camera. I don't know. I think I can't pause it and then just go again, and because then it would make it cuts it in several parts, which makes it more difficult to upload. Yeah, so I've been surfing on the internet a bit this morning. I mean, what the shit world we live in, yeah. So I've seen what's going on in Greece. So this Erdogan fascist, he opened the borders up. This is very good. And now they want to send the European Gestapo, they call it Frontex, like, to keep the migrants out. But Europe is so big, just leave them in. I mean, all people see is, I read the comments, and especially the German fascists, they are very active on the internet. They say it's an invasion, or the people are violent against the border police. Yeah, right, they are. They just want to move freely. This is one planet, we are one planet, and we are one human race. And just some humans want to go from A to B, let them go. I mean, then other people say, oh, it's a problem, the money, and those people, they need so much help. Yeah, but if your help only consists of putting them in camps or in flats or whatever way you put them, and then just pay for their living, yeah, well, that's your problem. Because why they don't be giving there are loads of abandoned villages, for example, all over the European Union, in all the countries. I mean, only here in France I know 4 or 5 abandoned villages. There are abandoned villages in the Spanish Pyrenees, and even in densely populated areas like Germany, there always is some space. So this is not, we have space, 4 million people on how many hundreds and thousands of square kilometers European continent. So why not picking them up there, actually? Because it's not fair also. It's not fair of the European Union to let the Greek people alone with it. And it's normal they get violent. I mean, most of the migrants, they come on an island. So there is a limit on an island. Yeah, you can't expand unlimited. So my sesame is fine. Grind it. I put this in here. Stir it all. Always stir the dry ingredients up first. So you avoid that it's cloaking, like otherwise you could, once the liquid comes in, you could have cloaks of curry powder or salt, and that's not so nice. So then I make a little mold in the middle, so I organize the flour on the sides of the pot. So now comes the water thing. Now comes the water thing. So this is hard to show how much, but I really do this by feeling. I don't have any amount. I can't say take so much flour and take so much water and take so much of this and this. I only can say, well, if the mess is too wet after, it gets sticky. So, and if it's too dry, you feel it also. So it's everybody has to find the right amounts of whatever. So I could put garlic now in. I sometimes do this, but since I used the sodium, the bicarbonate, and I don't put the garlic in because after it's somehow doesn't like each other. I remarked. So where is my wooden spoon? So this gets all stirred up, and I start by just taking little parts of the flour from the side of the pan and stir this up. Also, this is also because otherwise it will start cloaking, and it takes too much time after to work the mass after. So maybe we can do this here in the light. Yes, so there's migrants. I mean, so there are so many abandoned places. What's about army bases? I mean, so the stupid armies we don't need. just throw them out and let the people live in there. Churches, yeah, huge buildings, those Christians build. Yeah, huge they are. They are huge hangars. Just put beds inside and get some volunteers together. I mean, I would sign up. I'm not a good carpenter, but we can cut some wood. We take the migrants, give the tools to them and show them how to cut the wood. And we can make floors in a big church. And then they can camp in the church, and then we can give them other tools and show them. I'm sure there are going to be a few farmers and carpenters with them, and all sort of professions. Yeah, who are they're just like us. Yeah, it's just from another country, and show them how to plant potatoes and give them some cattle to breed, and they can take mostly care of their own. But you put them in ghettos in the towns, and then you wonder if the Nazi parties like the AfD in Germany instrumentalize the migrants for their dirty business. Yeah. Yeah, this is another thing. So I see what I mean. Germany. I'm really done with this stupid country. I'm never gonna go back there. And so at least one Oriental migrant can have my place. I leave it. I will never come back. So, and I think that maybe I can do it now. I think now I had just the right amount to make perfect. Yeah, and coronavirus, yes, I'm fascinated by coronavirus now. Like, I wait that it mutates and you all turn into zombies. And yeah, now French government is using, they are so happy about coronavirus, Macron and his banksters, yeah, because now they say people can't resemble anymore, people can't protest anymore, it's too dangerous. I said this weeks ago on Facebook, and I think in the video also. So last time, like, they tried terrorism to take the attention away from what they're doing. They instrumentalized the terrorism. And now they use the coronavirus. It's just so convenient that in the same time, whereas all those social rebellions going on in Chile, in China, in Germany, in France, in Spain, the Catalan people, so there is loads of people now getting very angry with the system. And wham! There comes coronavirus around the corner. And now people are forbidden to gather and protest, yeah. So I know if it was like with purpose that they released the virus. I think this would be hard to cover up on the long term. But at least I think they let it go for a while. Yeah, they just let it go for a while. They think, oh, it's not so dangerous, just a few deaths. Like, I mean, if you really count the bodies who died of coronavirus, okay, China, very densely populated areas and everything. But in the rest of the world, there hasn't been many deaths. So, but how it's presented in the mainstream media, it's like zombie apocalypse is already there. Or maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been down for some days now. So everything is possible. So now I will work this for a long time. Actually, I'm very fanatic about this. And many people say to me, oh, you don't need to work it so long. what I know. It is better it's worked, and after left alone a bit and it worked more, it's better become my chapati. I think everybody probably makes this a bit different. So I thought about spirulina chapati, but I didn't figure to, I couldn't figure out yet if, because the spirulina alga-like and the properties it has it just has been dried. I don't know if the spirulina would lose any of its properties if I heat it up, or if it would change anything in the, how you say, the molecular structure or something. Like honey, yeah, so I always have to smile when I see people making a fresh cup of tea and putting a spoon of honey in their very, very hot, nearly boiling tea, because this honey turns toxic if you heat it over 70 degrees. And you won't die from it. And it still tastes honey. Gets a bit bitter, but only if you really have the taste for it, I think, because I've seen people, they say it makes no difference, but it's not very good for your stomach after, essentially. So it's not poisonous as anthrax, but it's poisonous enough to give you a bad stomach. So this is perfect. So you see, I mean, there I've got some on it, but it doesn't stitch. Like, it's even got the bowl clean. And now I make one just for the show. And then I will let the mass go until this evening, and maybe make some filled chapati with lentils and onions, which is pretty much all that I have left in the house. I mean, got some rice and stuff, but yeah, who is this? Oh, this is this stupid bank. My ancient bank, and it seems, I mean, they don't send me any letters or ask me for money or anything, but it seems they didn't close down my account when I closed it down, and I still get text messages from this non-existent bank account. So yeah, put some flour on there. Then I've got my peacemaker here. Then I take a little more. So I take like a middle-sized hand full. I form a little bowl from it. Put it here to wait. Then I preheat the same pan I used to make the sesame, the gomasio. And always heat up the pan before, if it's for this now for chapati, or if it's even, especially if it's meat like steaks or hack steaks or whatever, don't put it in a cold pan, because if you put it in the cold pan, the chapati or the steak or whatever, it will heat up with the pan, and it will lose loads of water, humidity and juice in the case of meat. Whereas if you wait till the pan is really hot and you put your steak or your chapati ball in the pan when it's very hot, immediately the pores of the whatever you put in it, they will close up from the heat, yeah, and so you trap the humidity or the juice inside whatever you fry. So now I work this here. Can you even see this? No. Haha. There we are. So I work out here, then use the roll to roll it out. And I've done this, that's years ago, but when I was living in cars or out of cars, I had my little kitchen and I would go to the festivals and make chai and chapati, and I always said for free price, yeah. So I didn't say €2 or €1. I always had I put a hat up or a jar or something, and then the people could give me whatever they felt like, and it's always worked out. It's always worked out, and I always just needed, I mean, for myself, on the road I need even less money than living in a house. So I arranged this already. I make only one now, and it's always worked out in the sense that I could buy more ingredients and just keep going with my kitchen. And in the end, sometimes I had a few euros left over. So this is like a little pay, but I never made much money, just enough to get going again. So this pretty much is how I make my chapati and sometimes bread. But my oven is okay as a pizza oven, and for some things, but for some reason making bread in there is like not very good. So here he is, my chapati friend. Yeah, this looks good. So, and if I had waited now, it would have like risen a bit. But basically, chapati it's just like a pizza, yeah, just without anything on it. And then this is another thing. Also, in case they get a bit dry, like now I was filming and talking so much, maybe this one could get a bit dry. So just put it on a plate and then just put the cover over it, so they will this will re-soften it a bit. Yeah, this looks good. So, okay, I think that's good. So, this was my English chapati video, and with this I say bon appetit.